You don't feel like a liar, but you do feel edited. Different version here, different tone there, different opinions depending on who's in the room. And when you get home, there's this quiet question. If I'm adjusting this much, who am I actually? You laugh at jokes you don't find funny. You soften opinions that might create tension. You mirror the energy of whoever you're with. Around confident people, you shrink a little. Around quiet people, you become the stable one. Around family, you slip back into an older version of yourself. It's subtle, but it's constant. And over time, something feels off. You don't feel fully seen. You feel liked, accepted, tolerated, but not known. In conversations, there's a small pause before you speak. Not because you don't have thoughts, but because you're calculating impact. Will this make things awkward? Will they think I'm strange? Will this change how they see me? So you filter, you adjust, you edit. And the strange part is, it works. People describe you as easygoing, adaptable, mature, but inside, you feel unstable. This pattern is connected to something called self-monitoring. Self-monitoring is your ability to read social cues and adjust your behavior. In balance, it's social intelligence. In excess, it becomes identity diffusion. You become fluent in everyone else, but disconnected from yourself. So why does your brain think this is necessary? You are not fake. You are adaptive. Your brain evolved to prioritize belonging. For most of human history, rejection meant isolation. Isolation meant danger. So your nervous system learned a rule. Blend in. Reduce friction. Stay safe. If you grew up in environments where expressing the wrong thing led to criticism, tension, or withdrawal, your brain encoded something deeper. Safety equals adjustment. That's not weakness. It's learned protection. But protection repeated for too long becomes identity loss. And that's what feels like being fake. Here's what's happening in your brain. First, the social threat system activates. The amygdala scans for danger. Not just physical danger, social danger. A slight shift in tone. A neutral facial expression. A moment of silence. Your brain flags it as potential rejection. Second, your attention shifts outward. The network responsible for self-reflection quiets down. You stop referencing your own preferences. You start referencing the room. You become externally anchored. Third, your reward system reinforces it. When you adjust and tension decreases, you feel relief. Relief is rewarding. Your brain learns. Adaptation prevented discomfort, so it strengthens that pathway. Over time, your external radar gets stronger. Your internal anchor gets weaker. Imagine your identity like a radio signal. When you're alone, the signal is clear. When others are present, static increases. So you turn your own volume down to tune into theirs. Eventually, you forget what your original frequency sounded like. The goal isn't to shut off your radar. It's to strengthen your anchor. And that requires small, controlled risk. First, notice the micro edits. Pay attention to one small moment where you soften something. Awareness activates the part of your brain responsible for conscious choice. It weakens automatic threat responses. Maybe you say, I kind of like that, when you actually love it. Just notice it. No judgment. You can't strengthen what you don't see. Second, practice low-stakes authenticity. Express small preferences in safe situations. Gradual exposure reduces fear responses in the brain. When authenticity doesn't lead to rejection, your threat system updates. Say, I actually prefer tea, or that didn't resonate with me. Small truths teach your nervous system that difference is not danger. Third, delay the scan. After you speak, resist analyzing their reaction immediately. This interrupts overactive social monitoring loops. It prevents your brain from inventing rejection that isn't there. A 2-second silence does not mean disapproval. Your brain fills gaps with worst-case assumptions. Pause before believing them. Fourth, rebuild preference memory. Make small decisions alone without imagining how they'll be judged. Repeated self-reference decisions strengthen identity-related neural pathways. Choose music without thinking about who would approve. Write one honest paragraph in a journal. Arrange your space based on what feels right to you. You're rebuilding familiarity with your own signal. Fifth, redefine belonging. Instead of asking, "Did they like me?" ask, "Did I feel stable while being seen?" This shifts evaluation from external approval to internal alignment. Belonging isn't just being accepted. It's being accepted without shrinking. Your external radar kept you safe. It helped you read people. It helped you avoid conflict. But your internal anchor needs repetition to grow. Identity isn't found in one bold moment. It's built in small, consistent signals. Every time you allow a tiny difference to exist in public, you turn your volume up one notch. Not to dominate, just to be audible to yourself. Authenticity isn't loud, it's stable. And stability feels unfamiliar when you're used to scanning. But with repetition, the radar quiets, the anchor strengthens, and something shifts. You don't feel fake. You feel present. You were never pretending. You were protecting. Your brain chose belonging over exposure. That made sense once. Now you can update the strategy, not by forcing boldness, but by allowing slightly more honesty, a little more often. Maybe the question isn't, "Who am I really?" Maybe it's this: what happens if I stop turning myself down?